Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Backstage Pass. I'm your host, Samantha Powell. I'm so happy to be joined again with the wonderful Ben Barnard. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I have not seen you in a month of Sundays. We say that sometimes in the South. But yeah, the last time I saw you was at ISC. So how have things been? What did you think of the show?
Absolutely incredible, wasn't it? I think, when we first found out where our AVIXA TV studio is going to be, and the fact that it was like quite far from the main AVIXA booth, and I was going to have to be like running between the two, I was like, okay, that's going to be a challenge. But actually, what I found, especially from when we were doing the show in Vegas, the InfoComm show, and doing AVIXA TV there, it meant that we were kind of forced to walk back and forth between the booths, and it meant I got to see a lot of the show, a lot of the people, and so yeah, it was just amazing. There were so many people too, and like it really felt like a lot of people, but then again, it didn't feel too busy. Like there was still enough space. It felt to kind of move around and all that good stuff. So yeah, no, it was fantastic. How about you? What did you think of the show?
No, I definitely agree. And yeah, as you were saying, like there's so many people, but it was almost like every time you were walking, you ran into somebody like, oh, I meant to catch up with you. And it was just crazy how often that happened. But yeah, no, I loved where we were. We were near those robot dogs and all of that interesting technology in that hall this year. And I got to take advantage of some of those really cool like tech tours that we did. So I had a lot of amazing experiences checking out like a lot of immersive experiences in Barcelona. And it was phenomenal as usual. And I think, was this one of the largest shows, if not the largest?
Yeah, highest attendance there ever was. Yeah, and it as I say, like it felt like that in some ways, but not in others. It was just a perfect balance. Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Did you stick around as well in Spain or in Europe after the show?
Now, I will always take advantage of an opportunity to be in Europe. So I absolutely did. So I spent a few more days in Barcelona, and then I took an hour-and-a-half flight and spent a week in Rome, one of my favorite places. So I ate all of the Catalonian food in Barcelona and then filled myself to capacity with pasta. No clothes fit afterwards. No matter how much I walked, it didn't matter because I made sure to have the heavy pastas for lunch and for dinner because I can't have that back here in the States. Olive Garden isn't cutting it. So yeah, I stuffed myself, but I had a wonderful, wonderful time. So really looking forward to ISC coming up again, but InfoComm is right around the corner. So definitely excited. So Ben, will I be seeing you in Florida in a few months?
Well, here's the bad news. I'm afraid I'm not going to be at the show this year. I'm not going to be at the show. Friends of mine are getting married in the same on the same week as the show. So I'm going to be flying to Bulgaria to initially it was just to attend their wedding, and since then they've kindly asked me to officiate their wedding, which is an even better excuse. I think I was thinking, can I get out of going to the InfoComm show just to attend a wedding? I thought, it's not. But then they asked me to officiate. I'm like, well, this is a proper excuse now. So sadly, I'm not going to be there. But I know we have Ben Thomas joining again for the green screen. Texas Ben, as he's known in some parts. So that's going to be amazing. He'll be there to support you. And I have organised a little something for you for a co-host. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You'll be in good hands. Trust me. We'll more on that later in sort of upcoming episodes. But I think you'll be okay. But you're the one that holds the whole thing together, right? You'll be fine.
No. What am I going to do without half of the Bens there?
Yeah, maybe nice to have a break from the Bens.
They don't want to move the wedding from Bulgaria to Orlando. There's so many different like lands and Disney. I'm sure there's like a Bulgaria Disney World or something, like they could do their wedding there.
Could be. I mean, I did float the idea. Yeah, exactly. I did float the idea, and I was like, okay. Also we've got the means to stream this whole thing. Depending on how long they wanna do, like how long the ceremony has to be, we could kind of stream it out for the people that
Okay.
can't immediately change their plans and change going from
We'll talk to
Bulgaria to
AVIXA.
Florida.
Yes, AVIXA
But
TV.
yeah,
Just a thought. Just a
you know,
thought.
it hasn't. I hadn't had like a firm no, so I guess you could say it's still the conversation is still ongoing, decision
Okay.
pending. But if just in case they decide against that, I've organised someone to step in and help. So I think you'll be fine. You'll be in good hands.
Well, you'll sorely be missed, but I know we will definitely be in good hands and we will keep the show running. We'll definitely be sad without you, but we're
Yes,
going to
you
keep
will.
on moving strong. So thanks for
You will be
setting that up,
sad.
Ben.
You will be sad. I will be missed incredibly. But that's just life. Anyway, let's talk about this episode because first up, we're going to be joining our good friend and colleague Noreen, who's also the producer of this podcast. So shout out to Noreen. He actually sat down with our brand new senior VP of Expositions, Jenn Heinold, for a chat for this podcast. So why don't we take a look at that first section?
Let's check it out.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here today with Jenn Heinold, and Jenn is the Senior Vice President of Expositions in the Americas here at AVIXA. Jenn, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Noreen. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Jenn, this is going to be your first show, your first InfoComm on this side of the game. Now, can you introduce yourself to everyone and maybe talk a little bit about your role at AVIXA and InfoComm?
Yeah, happy to, Noreen. I actually joined InfoComm and AVIXA in December of last year. And I've dedicated my entire career to trade shows, although I'm new to the Pro AV industry. So I ran a very large satellite technology trade show for 15 years. And most recently ran a show management company, which produced events on behalf of association and corporate clients. So I've worked on a lot of events. InfoComm is very well known in the trade show industry, very well respected, and it truly is an honor to be able to lead the show. So my role is to really oversee the strategy and the team executing InfoComm in the United States, as well as InfoComm America Latina, which will be held in Mexico City in October. I know today we're going to focus more on InfoComm in the US. We're really excited with how the show is shaping up, and it's only a few months away.
Absolutely. It's going to come by really quickly. I can tell you that now. The leading up to the show, maybe like starting right after IC, actually, that's when things start to speed up and you're like, wow, it's almost time for InfoComm already. But I'll tell you what, the AV industry is incredible, Jenn. I know you're going to absolutely love it here. The people are awesome. The technology, obviously, very awesome as well. So, we're really glad to have you, Jenn.
I already feel the warm welcome, and I went to ISE, so I was able to meet with a lot of our exhibitors and see the amazing technology in real life, and that was super helpful and just made me even more excited for what InfoComm can offer.
Now, speaking of ISE, we're coming right out of ISE, and there's so much hype and excitement going into InfoComm. I think people are really feeling that momentum and this sense of excitement going into it. What is the vibe that you're feeling from this year's trade show? And I guess on that note, what are some exciting things that attendees can look forward to this year?
Yeah, we're really focusing on the people first, the community that is the foundation for InfoComm. And certainly the Pro AV community is very strong, very smart, and innovative. But we also really want to be a home for all of the end users who use the technology as well. So at InfoComm this year, you're going to see a real focus on the community and putting the people first. So what does that look like? We really focus on the event design in three core areas: education, the experience at the event, and then networking and making sure that we can make those connections, not only between exhibitors and attendees, which is really important and the foundation for the show, but also between attendees and, speakers and the entire ecosystem who's at the event. So for the education piece, we've actually got 3 great stages on the show floor this year. We have AVIXA Exchange, which is really a campfire setting, right? So get together, huddle around. What are some of the challenges facing our industry? Things like sustainability, DEI, and we just get together, talk about them in a private, environment where we can really be open and share. The other stage that we have is called the Tech Innovation Stage, and that's where you're going to find the newest products and technology. Everything that's leading edge at the show is presented on that stage. And then lastly, we've got a new stage called the Spotlight Stage. That is where all of the thought leadership is happening at the event. So we've got some great content partners for the Spotlight Stage, and IABM and Digital Signage Federation, Plaza, FutureWorks. But we really looked at what are the trends, within the industry, and how do we shine a spotlight on them? And the cool thing about that stage area is that it's a multi-use section of the show floor, so it enables networking as well as content. I'm really excited about that.
If there was one thing, right, that attendees should look forward to, in your opinion, obviously it's like picking your favorite child, right? There's just so much cool things going on. What is that one thing that attendees should not miss? And maybe if there's any sneak peeks into key highlights and other events that are going on at the show, we'd love to hear about that as well.
Yeah, happy to highlight a few things. I think first and foremost, make sure that you dedicate time for the show floor, right? Our exhibitors go all out with their booths and really put so much work and effort into making sure that the attendees are able to see the latest technology, not just on display, but in action, right? So make sure you spend a lot of time on the show floor. We're actually doing, again, along the lines of building the community, many more meetups throughout the days on the show floor. So we'll post all of those on our website and in the mobile app. But I would take advantage of those opportunities to come together with like-minded people. We're adding receptions in the evening, the last hour. We'll have food and drink throughout the show floor. So, just a way to kind of close out the day on a high note before you go off to dinner or to one of the exhibitor parties that are hosted during InfoComm. Some of the other things I'm looking forward to is we're doing a dedicated night at Universal Studios on the Tuesday before the show opens. So June 10th, we're selling discounted tickets to Universal, and they're actually closing down the park for our attendees. So it's just a casual, fun night to go experience the park without long lines and get to take advantage of something fun to do in Orlando.
Wow, that sounds really fun. I've been to around Universal Studios, but not there before. So I think that would be a pretty cool opportunity.
You've got the connection now, Noreen, right?
That's right.
You've got
That's
a
right.
good reason to go, and it's nice to have that balance, right, of work and play. So it's an important part of what we do.
It just sounds like a great way to go out and meet people and to go have some fun and do your favorite things that you like to do when you go to a theme park or all that. So a lot of cool things around there too. So I think a lot of people
see AV come to life, right? Like there's many immersive experiences at a theme park, and Universal really does it exceptionally well. So it all ties together.
Absolutely. It's a great way to engage with the technology, I'd say.
Yes.
From an InfoComm perspective and from just a general trade show perspective, what are some insider advice that you have and tips for first-time attendees on how to make the most out of their experience?
Well, we do a first time attendee breakfast on Wednesday, June 11th at 8 a.m. That's a great way to meet other first timers. But if doing that isn't for you, that's okay. There's a lot of great things that you can do to help you prepare for your first time at InfoComm. I think the biggest thing is download the app. Right, that'll be available very shortly in all app stores. So download the app and actually take the time the week prior or on the plane ride or even in the Uber going to your hotel and go through the exhibitor list, see which ones you want to prioritize. Because if you wait until you get to the show to plan how you'll navigate the event, it's sensory overload in the best way possible, but it really is hard to take time away to focus on, oh, who do I need to see? So, I always advise people, so many of us will spend 15, 20 minutes scrolling through social media, which is a great release for many. But take those 15 minutes you'd be scrolling through social media and scroll through our app, right? And pick the exhibitors you want to see, pick the sessions you want to go to. And it doesn't take that much time to really plan, but it just takes that concerted effort to sit down and make a few priorities for who you want to visit while you're there.
You mentioned the endless scrolling. I think of the word doom scrolling, but that's doom scrolling, right? I wouldn't classify this as doom scrolling because I feel like it's very meaningful.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just scrolling through and just looking at like some of the things that are going to be happening is, like I said, preparation is key, right? I think knowing what you're getting into is really going to help you save your time and save the efforts and make sure that you're making the most out of your show.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yep.
think too, I mentioned the meetups, but
Mhm.
make sure that you plan some time for networking as well. So much of a trade show is serendipity, and that will happen when you come to the event. But I always advise people to just pick one pre-planned networking event, right? And make the
Mhm.
commitment to go to that, whether or not it's a reception or it's the night at Universal or it's a member meetup on the show floor, but just do one of those that are pre-planned so that you put yourself in a location where everybody's expecting to connect and network.
I want to touch on that a little more because I think we talked a little bit about the people, right? We want to make this about the people and experiencing and meeting everyone and just like connecting with that common love for AV and all of that. So, how can people make meaningful connections while they're at InfoComm?
I think it sounds in some ways a little trite, but like push yourself to make the effort. Don't forget to smile. And you said it earlier, this community is so warm and welcoming. I felt it from day one. And quite frankly, I just experienced it at ISC, right? I was new. It was my first time. I went to a few receptions where I didn't know a person there. And I did just, kind of strike up some conversations and people struck up conversations with me, which was so awesome. I think the other thing that I experienced at ISC, which was really reassuring and heartwarming, is I, again, come from the trade show industry, not from pro AV. So I said to some exhibitors, like, tell me how this technology works or what are the applications? And they were so willing to teach me, and so I think sometimes it's easy to get in your own head and be like, oh, I don't want to admit that I don't understand this. But I think being brave enough to admit that, it really does open up some meaningful conversations as well.
That's what's about at the end of the day, right? Like learning and smiling. I think
Yes.
going somewhere that makes you happy, that makes you feel like you're a part of someone or something, sorry, a part of something
Yeah.
is essential for something like this. So it's, I think it really completes the experience by going to InfoComm. So,
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely energizing, I think, to be together. And
mhm.
like I said, it can be sensory overload, but I think it's just finding the right balance and staying true to yourself as you navigate the event is really important.
Awesome. That's some incredible advice. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to InfoComm. I know so many people are as well. And I'm really excited to get there. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, I am. Registration's open, so visit our website. It's infocom.org and sign up to attend. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Awesome. Thank you again, Jenn.
Thanks, Noreen.
Thank you, Noreen. Absolute professional as always. He's so good, isn't he?
He's
Really good
really
chat.
good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, great. Really interesting about the InfoComm night at Universal Studios too. That's on the Tuesday night. And so if anyone listening wants to sign up to that, you can go to infocomshow.org for more details. But yeah, thank you very much again, Noreen, and to Jenn. Sam, what have we got next?
Absolutely, Ben. So we have a wonderful interview with our very own Joseph Valerio and Carrie Johnson to talk about the Brad Sousa Impact Fund that was launched last year at InfoComm. So let's go ahead and take a look.
I'm Carrie Johnson, and today I'm joined by one of my coworkers, Joseph Valerio, Program Director for Global Industry Engagement. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing today?
Hi, Carrie. Happy to be here.
Great. So I know all of the wonderful things you do within AVIXA and the AV industry, but for our audience members who are just now meeting you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role within AVIXA?
Happy to. Appreciate the opportunity to say hi to the folks out there. I've been with AVIXA 13 years, so I've seen a little bit of everything that we do here at the organization. I'm most proud of, and why I'm really here talking with you today, is I run the day-to-day of our charitable foundation. And really what that means to the folks out there is we work with a board of directors, just like the association does, to really guide a mission of empowering our business to grow and to expand in its talent pool. And that's what that charitable mission really does for our business. And we'll talk about that more, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it a little bit. You within your role with AVIXA, you interact with and assist the AVIXA Foundation. So definitely tell us a little bit more about what the AVIXA Foundation does to support and grow the AV industry.
Where the trade association rests in the world for professionals to grow their careers, the AVIXA Foundation exists to help expand our reach into future generations. And it serves as a nonprofit charity on behalf of AVIXA, on behalf of our business, to really help grow awareness of our career as a viable career path for people coming from other career paths, for new people coming into the career world, and as well as help give them the skills that they need to be successful in our business. And some of the ways we do that, Carrie, is by reaching out into communities and making relationships with vocational colleges, preparatory programs, community organizations, K through 12 education programs to actually build more of those pathways directly into the different businesses that are out there. We find that that's very useful and a much easier way to help businesses find that talent that they're looking for by building direct pathways into their career opportunities. Sort of the second pillar I would mention about what the foundation does for the AV industry is by upskilling that generation as well. Those people coming behind those who are already in the business, who are looking and curious for a job that's frankly bigger than themselves and being a part of something like that. We help them by using AVIXA's vast resources, including our education programs, our certification programs, to help them be upskilled for the jobs of the future. And then I would say the third way we really help our industry grow in other ways is by helping make sort of hands-on experiences happen too. So whether that's at our global trade shows where we have matchmaking programs between new people coming into the business and employers who are looking to hire, or actually facilitating those experiences in different communities by reaching out to community partners more. Whatever we can do to help make more hands-on experiences, the better off the job market will be. And so I would say in some, really, those three pillars are really what we stand on and how we support the AV industry overall.
And actually, one of those efforts that the foundation oversees is the Brad Sousa Impact Fund, which was announced last year. Can you explain its significance and how it's making an impact on the AV industry?
Absolutely. A perfect segue to speak about Brad and his legacy. So while the foundation does have other forms of support and impact, which are like scholarships and partnerships that we have with other community groups, we're very excited to continue Brad Sousa's legacy with this impact fund in his name. For those that don't know Brad, he was an instrumental person both at AVIXA on our board of directors and as a volunteer on the foundation board, but also in our community overall. He's been in the AV industry for many, many years as a leader at AVI Systems, where he was employed last, but also just in general, his mark that he left in the communities in which he worked, but also in general in the communities in which he supported. He's been instrumental to supporting esports growth in the United States in particular, as well as in general in his communities in which he lived. So he was all about the impact that technology can have where it meets the human. And he was always famous for saying that impact is more important than influence. And so with this in mind and this legacy behind us, we created this fund in his honor to create impact with financial support to people, to programs out there, and to potential partners who are making a difference in society. How they are doing that, hopefully, is with AV technology and through digital transformation, helping make society and their communities a better place. So what we're really doing today here is announcing that our applications are open for that funding opportunity for those organizations. So we're hoping to get referrals from our community to help us achieve that goal.
That's actually wonderful. And my next question, since the applications are currently open, can you share what types of projects or efforts the fund is looking for to support through these submissions?
Absolutely. Some great examples would be those who are addressing social change in their community, those who are facing challenges and underestimated communities as well. People who are working towards progress in public education, potentially, those who are using these tools, these audiovisual experiences to benefit digital literacy in the world, those who are also promoting disabilities and helping more accessibility to our business. And so people, nonprofits, community organizations, schools, those working towards benefiting society in this way, helping them through digital transformation to make society better is who we're hoping to help fund.
That sounds wonderful. And I just have to put it out there. If you have anyone, any program, any project, any efforts that you think would be perfect for this, please send them our way. We'll have the link listed below and all over our social media. Joseph, what is the website of where we can point people to?
Hopefully very easy to remember. It's avixa.org/impact. It's a great way to find out more about the program. Refer that application to someone in your own community because they're the ones we hope to help. And of course, for anyone who wants to donate time or talent and some of their dollars, they're welcome to donate there as well to the program.
Wonderful. So this is a question, we're actually going to end this interview on a question that we ask all of our guests. Since we are gearing up towards InfoComm in Orlando, do you have any tips, suggestions, tricks for folks that are attending?
Always. I think this will be my 13th or 14th InfoComm, so I think I've got a few things up my sleeve to share. One may be simple, but definitely bring some comfortable shoes because you'll do a lot of walking. But it makes sure you wear those shoes in before you leave. It should go without saying, but I think a lot of people try out some new fancy sneakers or something and some trainers, and they may end up hurting their feet. So that helped me my first time when someone shared it with me. So highly recommend that. And the other one, which may not seem as obvious, is particularly in these conference centers, if you haven't been, is if you're just looking for a facility, if you're looking for the toilets, go to the outside walls of the building. So if you're in all the stands and all the big booths out there and you're kind of looking for that, just go right to the outside of the building and you're always going to find those. So those are simple but very useful tools.
That's a good tip for the bathrooms. And I will say, definitely made a rookie mistake at ISE this year where I did not break in my shoes before wearing them. And I walked from my hotel to the convention center and my toe started to bleed. So those shoes were not worn for the rest of the day.
We've
So
all made that
definitely a
mistake.
tip.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a tip to take to heart, which I saw the shoes yesterday and I was like, okay, we got to break these in for InfoComm.
Learn
So I
from
will
our
start doing
mistakes,
that.
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please. So you do not want to be sitting on your booth floor putting Band-Aids on your toe. Well, thank you again, Joseph. I appreciate everything and looking forward to seeing you at InfoComm this year in Orlando.
See everybody at InfoComm.
Thank you so much, Carrie and Joseph, for that wonderful interview. And I really hope everybody shares this information with everyone that they know. We really want to get those applications in for the Brad Sousa Impact Award. So definitely spread the word, everyone.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great job there. And yeah, it was, well, Sam, it's been a pleasure joining you again for this podcast. As I say, I'm not going to be at the InfoComm show this year, but we are now on the road to InfoComm. Can you share with me some of your pre-show, preparations? Have they started yet? Are you starting to, psych yourself up for the show? If so, how do you do it?
Sure. That's a good question. So I've got to figure out what hairstyle I'm going to do. No. These are the important things, right? That you have to think about. No, I have not yet begun. I need to actually book my flight. So that needs to happen, and make sure I've got my hotel room. So that also needs to happen ASAP.
Make sure you book
so
your
I
flight to Orlando as well, not Vegas.
Good point.
Yeah.
There's
That's
so much going on.
That's the trick, isn't it? Like with having this show that kind of, sort of goes back and forth between Vegas and Orlando, if you're not paying attention, you're going to the wrong place.
No, I don't think AVIXA would be very happy if they had to pay for that change of flight. So yes, that is very important. Thank you, Ben. But yeah, no, I think right now just, we're doing really great interviews and meeting with a lot of the people who are going to be on AVIXA TV. So I really enjoy, taking the time to meet with a lot of these companies who are going to be featured and understanding their AV technology. So I do a little bit of homework and so forth on what we're going to be speaking about. So kind of in that phase now. And then probably closer to, because I'm the ultimate procrastinator, like the person who doesn't go to sleep the night before the flight because she's literally still packing up until like 3 a.m. when I have to get my Uber. Sad, but true. Working on that. So yeah, the packing and everything will come later. So, but yeah, no, just really gearing up and meeting with so many people, and actually on the back end doing a lot of work for our education sessions, since I do work on our content creation team. So making sure that we've got amazing education sessions and workshops for our attendees. So it's taken up a lot of time and juggling a lot, but really excited that it's almost here. So now, Ben, how are you going to prepare to be officiating a wedding? I take it that's not something you do in your pastime, or is it, a side hustle? What are you doing to gear up for that?
Not something I do regularly. So I think it's going to be, well, to be honest, much like preparing for AVIXA TV, we got to meet with the key players. We got to, do some background research, figure out what we want the whole thing to look like, to sound like. There's a couple of different nationalities going to be participating in the wedding as well. So maybe I throw in a bit of, so the bride is, or the bride-to-be is Bulgarian and the groom is German. So I'm going to be maybe chucking in a bit of German, a bit of Bulgarian, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you mentioned that your preparation involves getting together with a lot of people who represent great companies, great brands. Speaking of that, we have some amazing companies who are going to be joining us on these podcasts on the road to the show for the Backstage Pass. And one of such companies is ProPsych. So our colleague Mark is going to be speaking to Sean from ProPsych. And fun fact, at the ISE show this year, the AVIXA TV studio had a bit of trouble getting some of the equipment over there, and ProPsych were great in stepping in and offering their assistance there to get stuff sorted for us. So that was fantastic. Great people to work with, and yeah, we look forward to looking forward to Mark's chat with Sean next week. But until then, I guess that's it for this episode of Backstage Pass.
Yeah, I think we've wrapped it all up. So until the next time, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.